Happy Trans Day of Visibility.
Instead of you guys calling me a pick-me, did you ever think maybe I just genuinely have a different perspective on things? No matter how many times you call me a pick-me, you're never gonna make me think giving hormones to people under the age of 18 is okay. Happy Trans Day of Visibility to me, because this community is so one-sided. Like, what would you guys call it if a community doesn't let anyone else have a different opinion without telling them that it's hate?
Cool.
What would you call that? Because I feel like that's a 4-letter word that starts with a C. Just because my transition worked out at 15 and you did a transition as a minor that worked out does not mean it's going to work that way for every kid. I have a cousin, a 7-year-old cousin, who never showed any signs of being trans or non-binary. They go to school, they find out what it means to be non-binary. Now they're coming back, identifying as non-binary and using he, him pronouns.
Told you. It's all about looking at friends doing it. I want to do the same thing.
Do you think that's okay? You think that's fine? I actually think you guys forget what it's like to be a kid. Do you remember your mind back then? Do you remember how innocent and pure you were? What is the need for all this? I'm gonna need you guys to learn how to have an actual conversation instead of just saying I'm a transphobe. Why don't you actually bring some solid points for why you think a child under the age of 18 should be making permanent life-changing decisions, should be making a decision that's going to sterilize them for their whole life? Because that's what you guys don't ever mention too. Even just being on puberty blockers gives you a very high chance of sterilization. Do you think a 14-year-old should be making that choice?
Yeah.
Because here I am. I love that I'm a female now. I love my transition, but I was in a rush. I wanted to get on HRT as fast as possible. That's what the doctors were pushing me to do. And now I'm never able to have a biological child because I didn't want to take the time to go to a bank. These are children. Children are impulsive.
Yep.
Protect the children.
Officially.
Don't call me a transphobe. If you want to be visible and say something important today, something that matters.
If you want to jump from a parachute and you loved it and you want to convince people that want to jump too, you need to tell them sometimes the parachute doesn't open. You don't want to do that. Because if they jump, you just tell them you never wanted to be a parachute jumper or something like that. Right? You don't recognize the trends.